Hi guys, just wanted to come back and talk about Virginia again. Oh my goodness. So, I was thinking about some things and especially like her anxiety, right? She says that out of nowhere she just got anxiety and I'm just like very confused. Like, when did this really start? What is your anxiety related to? Have you seen a therapist? Have you seen a doctor? In my mind, and what I said in past videos is she's treating her anxiety with alcohol. But then I started to think about it more, and I recall that sometimes people, who are alcoholics end up getting anxiety from being an alcoholic. So does she really have anxiety, which I earlier thought in previous videos in this season that it was related to the trauma in her childhood, her parents being separated, getting a divorce, her being in the middle, being that middle person, and them going back and forth, and in this unhealthy dynamic may have caused her to have anxiety, right? But now I'm thinking, could she possibly have anxiety related to being an alcoholic? There's so many people on social media who are like, oh, Virginia's not an alcoholic. But I'm here to tell you, from the likes of it, she is. And I think with like 100% certainty that her anxiety is related to alcohol. Because the thing is like, some people, they'll have anxiety and then they'll drink alcohol to kind of calm them. Reduce stress is a main reason that people try to take some alcohol, drink some wine here and there when they're in an uncomfortable situation. But a person who has anxiety sometimes will consume some alcohol so that they don't feel so anxious in certain situations. And then what happens is like you're drinking every once in a while, but then you have people like Virginia who's drinking way too much. They're drinking so much that it actually reverses itself and actually makes the anxiety worse. So did Virginia's anxiety come first, or did alcoholism? That is the question that we have. And I really think that possibly she had anxiety, probably related to her family dynamic changing. And then that's what introduced her to alcohol, right? And I believe that she continued to drink and drink and drink unresponsibly, irresponsibly, and then turned into a problem and worsened her anxiety to a level where she felt like, wait, something's wrong with me. I have anxiety. No, you're an alcoholic who has worsened their anxiety because you became an alcoholic. Sometimes anxiety and alcoholism come hand in hand. And I forget, I was watching something on YouTube some time ago, and there was this news anchor, and I forget her name. I can't recall her name. She was in a relationship with, she was married. She had 2 kids. She would drink alcohol for her anxiety, stress, have a glass of wine here and there. She married someone, and they pointed it out to her that she had a problem, that she drank way too much. So then you know what she did? She hid the bottle of alcohol underneath her sink. And then she would go in her bathroom and drink a half a cup just to make it through another hour, right? There's a problem there. She kept drinking. She would stop, seek help, go back and forth with her drinking. And she couldn't stop drinking, not even for her children, until she got to a point where her husband left her. She was still in and out of rehab, and then she was placed in a situation where it just had to get worse before it got better. And she had to do something for the news channel. They needed her voice. And she was on vacation with a nanny, but she was drinking. She was wasted. They came the next morning to do her voice over, and she could barely speak. She couldn't get any words out, any sentences, because she was so intoxicated. She was so embarrassed. She was so upset. that she hurt her family, her children seeing her, thinking that she's going to die and different things like that. And it took that for her to get the help that she needed. Her job recognizing that she had a problem and them being there to support her and help her, it all being out there. She lost her husband. I don't know if it was related to the alcohol or what, but I'm most certain that it had to play a part, right? So it just goes to show that Virginia is actually going down that road. I believe she is. She's going down that road. If she ends up having kids, if she continues in this marriage, and if she doesn't get the help she needs or doesn't combat her problems, seeking real strenuous therapy, getting the help she needs, being intentional in her healing process, whatever it is, this trauma that she has been wrestling with and dealing with since she was younger, if she doesn't really combat it, she's going to be in a similar situation where her marriage is going to end up in divorce. If she does eventually have children, her children are going to be affected by how she operates and how she conducts herself if she continues down this road, because likely that's what it looks like. She's very stubborn. She doesn't want to change because she doesn't want to be controlled, and she wants to normalize everything that she's doing, which is highly inappropriate for just being single, because passing out and drinking to a point where you want to pass out is pretty irresponsible. You have alcohol poisoning. People die from things like that. You're damaging your liver. You're damaging your kidneys. There's so many factors to even think about. I get it. You want to have fun. You want to have a good time. But you can have fun and have a good time and be responsible. And that is my problem with Virginia. So, what is it? Did the anxiety come first or did the alcoholism? Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because this is real. This is real. If you look up any information about anxiety and alcohol, there's so much information out there. And if you look at Virginia, that appears to be what it is. Because when she doesn't have her alcohol, her anxiety is even worse. That's what I see on my television screen. So I feel bad for Eric. I do. I really do. And I hope that, he comes to his senses sooner than later and doesn't impregnate this girl, where now you have children involved. Children are affected. And I've talked about this before in another video. Check it out. I talked about molestation and just different things and how, kids are affected at a young age. This doesn't have to do with molestation, but, whatever you allow your children to see and witness will ultimately affect them in the future. And that's something we have to think about. And maybe that's what Virginia's worried about. She says she's not going to be a good mother because maybe she sees that. Maybe she doesn't see herself stopping, drinking and stuff like that. She doesn't want to change that lifestyle. So why would she want to have children, right? It makes sense that she wants to get drunk. She wants to pass out on couches. You can't take care of children and do that at the same time. It's not really that easy very complicated to do that. CPS will be involved, and the children will end up taking care of themselves. And it's just an unhealthy situation to put children in. And just imagine all the trauma that comes with for the children as they grow up, as they mature, right? Having to witness their mother always drunk, always passing out, and, just not having a standard for her life. Who wants that? Who wants that for their children? So I get it, Virginia. I get it. I see you. I get it. You are an alcoholic and you know it, and you don't want to change, and you don't want to expose your children to that. But what she needs to do is get the help that she needs. to combat her trauma from her childhood. She should have never been on this show, like I've said before. She should have never been on this show because this anxiety is only, she said she's only been dealing with it for a year, and she's never been in a relationship while having this diagnosis of anxiety. So I don't think it's right that she was even matched with someone. You have the anxiety, you have the hanging out and falling asleep on opposite sex couches, the partying, the drinking, the non-marital mindset. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Why is she here? I really need to understand why she is here. What is the point of this part of the experiment? Them trying to match someone, with different views on marriage. One calm, reserved, one a little bit out of control. Like, what is it? What are you doing here? And what is your goal? What is your agenda? Because it's not working. It's making us reevaluate our whole lives because it's like, this can't be real. Her thinking can't be real. But anyways, we've talked about Virginia enough. But I just want to understand, and I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Do you think that her anxiety started from her trauma? Or do you think it started from the alcoholism? Or do you think that she had anxiety, from her trauma, from her parents, and she started treating it with alcohol, and the alcohol has made it worse? Because the tremors and everything, it doesn't look good. It really doesn't. So that's all I have to say about her. This is Rachel with Rachel's Truth. Leave a comment. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Share this video on your social media. And make sure you like the video. All right, guys? Well, I'll be talking to you guys soon. I'm trying to think of different shows I can do. I still haven't found a show that's actually on now that I can do. Most of the shows that people mentioned when I did try to start a dialogue of, what shows people would possibly want me to review. The shows were like a bit outdated, or they're not active right now. So let me get some ideas, dating shows, whatever, what have you. Let me know. Leave a comment below. All right. All right, guys. Nice talking with you. Have a good one.